So, today we're going to be talking about bulletproofing your energy. So, no matter what's going on around you, no matter who you're around, the circumstances, we're going to teach you how to focus your own energy as a deliberate and powerful creator. And so that in any situation, you can maintain your unwavering power of presence.
Just a quick little personal story, just so kind of people can understand what we're talking about. In 2016, I was able to become deeply present. I started to really ascend my consciousness and my reality. I got to the point where I'm doing very well on my own, but then I noticed that when I'm hanging out with others, my energy would drop. I'm doing good, I'm like high vibrational, but then I hang out with others and my energy would completely tank. I was just kind of like, what the hell? And then I started to become more aware of, okay, like I can align my own energy in a way where other people's energy can't affect me. And that took me a long time to get right, but it doesn't have to take that long looking back with what I know now. So I was able to learn how to anchor in my own energy through effective present moment awareness. That led to the point of where I am now. It's like I'm at a point where almost nobody can really affect my energy. As long as I'm like prepared and present, no one can really affect my energy.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the one thing that people struggle with the most. Like I definitely did, because it's so easy once you start having a consistent spiritual practice and a presence practice. Like when you're by yourself in your room, like it's hella easy to feel good. But as soon as like you step out into like being with your family, being with certain friends, like even especially at work, sometimes it's like you start to get a little wobbly. It's like, so how can we tune in and feel good again, no matter what's going on?
So this is exactly what I'm talking about, where you're doing good with your spiritual practice, which is the foundation, which is like kind of a necessary thing for this video, is like that foundational presence practice. It was like kind of demoralizing, right? When you have a good spiritual practice, but then you go out in the
Yeah.
world and people are able to affect you and trigger you, coworkers, family members, bosses, even just people you meet on the streets. I came to the realization that if I'm truly the absolute creator of my reality, then this does not have to be the case. Then that these people are simply reflecting triggers and vibrations that are going on within me. And when I am able to be present at a high level, I am able to transcend that. I am able to not be triggered. And every time I don't get triggered, I am deactivating these triggers, and then my external circumstances will change. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is like doing that effectively.
Based on our vibrations, like we are attracting how people treat us, like the vibes that we're getting from people and like the energy they're giving back. But the good news is that like, especially like if you're a complete beginner at this, those old patterns of energy and momentum are going to be activated just simply because it's still brand new. But like over time, it's like you are going to reach that point where it's like, yo, you're just vibrate the best out of everyone. And those triggers, and especially once you clear those triggers, it's like there's no room for it to show up again because you've transcended that.
Two thoughts. Number one, if two people are in the elevator, one is high vibrational and the other person is low vibrational, usually what ends up happening is they don't meet in the middle. You don't just become like middle vibrational, like both of you, right? Like it's like either the other person drags you down and now you're both low vibrational, or you are able to maintain your high vibrational alignment. Either both of you become high vibrational or the other person disappears from your reality. So that's very important fundamental law of the universe that you have to understand. Everything is based on your vibration, and that
Hmm.
there's no assertion. There's only what's active in your energy and what you are attracting and what's being reflected back to you based off of that. That's the number one thing, is like you have to realize reality is a complete mirror. Reality is 100% a mirror. You have to take full ownership of your vibration, your energy around others. You're always attracting people based on where your vibration is, right? So it doesn't matter if you're high vibrational or low vibrational, you're always attracting people anyways, and they're reflecting your vibration back to you anyways. So it's like changing the channel, changing the volume, like changing the dial. And since you're always going to be attracting people anyways, now you're just going to attract people on a different frequency. Before we just kind of talk about the techniques of it all, you have to understand that you kind of already need to have a present moment practice. So I highly recommend for you to check out my YouTube channel. I'll link a whole playlist that I made on YouTube on just how to be present, how to practice it. There's like tons of videos on that. And you just really want to build a fundamental practice of being able to be present, especially at least when you're by yourself, at peace, at home, being able to tap into presence first. And then you can apply this to being present with others. Here's sort of an example. When I get coaching clients, we work on present moment awareness. We work on being able to de-energize the mind, de-energize our triggers, de-energize our negative thoughts and emotions through present moment awareness. And for the first few weeks or months, we work on being able to do this at home. And then now they have a really strong present moment practice that they can commit to, and they are strong in that practice. Now, the next step after that usually is being able to take that to the outside world. All you have to do now that you have a present moment practice that you're committed to is before you go into the situation, like a job, while you're in the car, in the parking lot, you just have to get very present before the situation, before you meet the person. You have to get really, really present. And I do this every time. Before I even get on a podcast, before I see my family, my sister, doesn't matter how good of a friend they are, before I go to the grocery store or when I used to work, you just have to get really present. Make the habit of doing this. If you aren't present in every segment where you're seeing someone, you're not fully aligning with your energy, and you're wondering why your energy is all over the place because you're sloppy with your energy. You're not fully aligned before you go out. So it's really important to just fully align before every interaction, before you go out, no matter what.
And when you say getting present, so does that mean you're just like kind of like breathing in and kind of like being in tune to your inner world, or are you setting intentions? Are you
Okay.
setting affirmations? Like, what's your process in that?
I have a list of presence techniques, right? And you can check those out on my YouTube channel. It's about picking one of these techniques and deeply committing to them. So while I'm in the car before I go into work, I am getting deeply present. I am getting like very, very present, like in a very meditative state. And then when I go into work, I maintain that deep presence. Make sure it's very deep, and you maintain this presence the whole time you're at your job. Just become deeply present. So what's going to happen is usually the same things trigger you, the same people, circumstances trigger you. But this time around, because you're deeply present, you're way less likely to get triggered. And when you don't get triggered by something that you usually do get triggered by, there is a de-energizing of the same patterns and triggers that you hold within. So they get weaker and weaker and weaker. As you start doing this, at first, people will just trigger you less and less. They might still trigger you. You're not going to be perfect every day, but they're going to trigger you less and less. And then the negative energy will deactivate more and more. And over time, not only will you tap into more inner peace, but your external will change. The people around you will change. The circumstances will change. People who used to bother you will leave you alone because your vibration is different and your vibration is absolute, and the things outside you will reflect that. It's all about being able to be present before the circumstance and maintaining it the whole time whenever you're out with someone, interacting with someone, with your family. It doesn't matter who it is. When you are doing this, right, so you're at a higher frequency and you're aligning and just kind of putting your everything into your internal world and being present. What's going to happen is either people are going to align with your high vibration, your interactions will be more pleasant, or they will fade away and not bother you, or you don't do it perfectly and you get triggered, and that's okay, because when you get triggered, you just come back, continue to be present and consistent, and it's one of those things where it's like one step back and two step forward. Every time you get triggered, just continue your presence practice, and you will see that once you get back in alignment, you take a huge leap. So use those opportunities to really accelerate and expand. I'm at the point where I'm so confident whenever I go out. It doesn't matter where I am. I could be in the most crowded space or wherever. I've experienced this and practiced this long enough to know that I am very aligned in my own energy. And I've experienced so many things that confirm my alignment with my own energy that now I feel very confident. The only time where I wobble a little bit for the most part is usually when I am not present. Like sometimes once in a while I'll forget to be present before like interactions and stuff, right? And then it will be reflected back to me. Look at your practice around others and your interaction around others, right? Do you have a really good practice when it comes to other people? Are you becoming deeply, deeply present before you see somebody, before you go out, and maintaining that deeply as you're out interacting, right? And this will take time, but make sure that practice is amazing. Now things will start changing and you will reach a super high level of mastery, and now you're really living. Now you go out and you're the fucking master of your reality. Now the world is your fucking playground, and you know that no one can touch your energy because you are practiced, you are focused. And when you see this and experience this for yourself, you will know the truth of your power. Because right now you're hearing this, you're logically understanding this, but it doesn't fucking matter. You have to experience this fully for yourself, and you will know.